Oh, hello. Good morning. Hello. Now, Silver, can you hear me? Oh, that was strange. Anyway, I hope you can hear me. Um, I'm sure someone will say something in a second if they can hear me or not. Well, if they can't hear me, they can't say it, can they? Um, Let me see. Settings. Hello, Michelle. Just give it a moment. Good morning. Oh well, there's a couple of people. But that was strange because I didn't hear. Oh yes, that little video doesn't have music. That's probably why. All right. I hope you're all well. Welcome to the show. To the reading, to the workshop. Oh dear. Well, over here in Australia, like you can really tell the difference now. The sun is way off, like it hasn't risen yet. It's amazing what a difference like 7 days makes to how the Earth is rotating. So yeah, as we go, each day we'll get a little bit. The sunrise is sort of delayed a little bit longer. So I hope we all had a good week. I don't know, it's been a very strange week for me. Just trying to get comfortable here. Oh, it's been a bit of a strange week. I'm not so sure if things are shifting. How do you feel? Have things shifted for you? Um, oh, that's better. Hi, Patricia. I can see people entering the chat. So I hope you're all well. I wanted to look today. I'm not really exactly sure what we're going to talk about. I'll just put up an image because during the week I did do a reading about this ridiculous Jordan trip, but yeah, I'm not sure. I was just looking at what this Duchess wears, how she presents herself. I think. Oh, you know what? I'll do another. Let me see. So there's a comment there that SM says there's definitely been a shift. So yeah, something is changing. I did think about Nancy as well. With Nancy, I need to be careful. I need to focus on something before with let me put this down because let's look at. I just had a message about Nancy. Not a message, a feeling. I just had a feeling about Nancy. Nancy Guthrie. Is Nancy Guthrie's case closed or close to being solved? I don't think so. What to know about the search? There's something about Nancy. I don't know. There's something about Nancy. I wanted to. The interesting thing for me, I'll tell you what it was. It's this card. Okay. I was going to say, am I going to find it? So I had this card related to Nancy. I've also had this card related to a reading that I did for, did we do it in the live? Where I was saying about the couple, the couple in the royal family and the plans. Um, and I thought that was strange later when when I was in bed, I was thinking, I was going, oh, that card came up. That card has had, well, obviously because I'm reading it. So, like, obviously to me, like, it's related to me kind of looking at it. So I'm the common denominator in both of those readings. But it is strange that it sort of came up for both. Um, yeah, this card here. Uh, let me. Might as well do this while we're talking about it. The house. Where's the house? This one here. Hmm. And that's why I wanted to, did you remember I said, is she near water? Because the other thing, apart from pointing at the house and this construction site, was this body of water. And I don't know. I know that where they are, there's probably not. Are they in the desert? Like, so that's why I kind of thought, is it strange that she's near water? Um, I don't like, obviously now it's been some time, so I feel a bit more comfortable talking about the fact that she was probably not alive when she left the house. Um, I hang on. Let's actually, you know what? Now, because I'm getting some comments from you, and I think I'm going to use that energy to do a little bit of a read. Let's do a little bit of a reading because, and I also the card that I chose was the card of revelation, like in the thumbnail. But that was because also to do with the Jordan trip, that card revelation came up. That's strange. There's two cards. Anyway, I thought, anyway, I had the revelation card. I'm just wondering whether, that's a little bit of a theme for us this morning, today. So let's have a look. I just want to ask the cards. Just want to ask the cards about. I personally feel that she left that house. She wasn't alive when she left the house, or close to not being alive. And the reason I say that is because of these ransom notes. I think the ransom notes were a distraction. Um, the King of Swords. King of Swords. Um, how do I read the King of Swords here? Something about being unwise, decisions, like someone else was not wise, like not making, not using their mind correctly, like thoughts and decisions. Um, That's why I thought that it might have been, I think it might have been, well, it wasn't planned. Like, that's what I will say. It wasn't planned. If we're looking at plans, someone, this is because it's upside down. It wasn't planned. It wasn't a thought process. I think it happened very quickly and accidentally. So it had to be someone in the house with her, or that's why I think I know that they're saying I know. I know that they've said that they've checked everything, but I don't think they have. Even like Silver in the comments just said that they checked a septic tank. I don't think, I don't know. Hmm. The night of ether. Um, I I think I'm going to stop because I think I'm going to stop because there's something about there's something about this. I think I need to let them um I need to let time and the situation reveal itself. I think talking about it doesn't really help. I mean, when I see the night when I see this night of ether, like this is about protection and spiritual protection. When I see him reversed, it's really a call to that yourself up to um, you're opening yourself up to things that are not wise. That's unwise. That's one of the meanings of unwise. And this is also about vulnerability and opening yourself up to attack or like. So I think the cards right now. Either we need to we'll change topic. I think something about this Nancy case doesn't feel. It doesn't feel good. I mean, it's not just your typical. I think I can say that it doesn't feel like a typical someone. Oh, and also in Australia, we just recently had a very, very similar case where like a grandfather was taken, an elderly man was taken, kidnapped, but it ended up being a case of mistaken identity. My feelings are right. Well, the feelings are not quite right. So I would do well at this point with its orange reversed. So this is sacral chakra energy, the sun, but it's the sun reversed. So it's about I'm going to take that as a cautionary energy to about emotional expression or expressing yourself. Um, yeah, the situation is not obviously it's not joyous and bright and happy. It's reversed. Um, so the sacral chakra, actually deals with I feel, and I think that maybe what I'm feeling is not accurate. What I feel. So maybe that's probably why I need to, I don't want to influence people in their thinking because I may not be on the right track. Okay. I I think that's what I'm getting. Anyway, okay, silver, intuition. So what I just said then, I think I just need to follow my intuition. So I I will my intuition is not to continue. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to trust the cards and we will change topic. Sorry guys, I thought we might. It's not that we can't look at this later. I think at the moment, for the moment, we're going to respect that message, and we will try and look at that. We can look at it like later. Let me just yeah, sorry, Nancy. We will try and come back. Where does she live? Anyway, I'm going to get too curious and ask more questions. But anyway, water. Anyway, I'm going to, let's stop there. I'm going to actually close that page and that one. This one I might leave in case we need another. Yeah. So let's have a look at, let me just see what people have said. Hi, hello to all the newbies that have walked in. Thank you for coming along. We're just having a bit of a play this morning, a play and a. I wanted to talk about Jordan. Very strange. What am I feeling? I'm just going to. The other question, I did mention it in the video. I find it very strange, really, really strange that this guy went to this guy here went to the Middle East, and I think nothing's happened while he's there. And isn't it weird? Like it really, like I'm gonna get really annoyed, but it really, the way that the media portrays this is really, really sickening. That they call it a royal tour. This is, it's really a setup to, to plant seeds in people's minds that they are royal. I mean, is he royal? Well, I suppose by birth he still is. Is that accurate? So the thing that's not accurate is it's a royal tour, unless the royals, the royal family, I think that it's okay to call it a royal tour. I think it's very strange to see her in a t-shirt. I'm a real stickler for that. I don't know. I don't know why I am so stuck on that, but I just find it very disturbing. I find this outfit extremely disturbing because the white shirt is just an add-on. If I was dressing, oh look, I would. If I was, I mean, I'll keep shuffling. If I was dressing, so it's a team. It was team. It's part of teamwork. It's definitely part of teamwork. The sun in reverse. But anyway, like, let me focus. The sun in reverse. There's something not bright about this. Bright light. I'm going to read that as the opposite of the sun. The sun in reverse is about darkness. There is a little, things are not optimistic, not bright. Negativity. There's something, but it's teamwork. I'm going to say that it's kind of like dark teamwork. That's purely, like, very simply not bright teamwork. Celebrating. Team, coming together. Community. It also because it's feelings, it's kind of like friendships and stuff. So this thing of royal is okay. So we were talking about the royal, the fact that the media called it a royal visit. I think that's correct. I think it is correct to call it that. This is what they're portraying, what they're really communicating here, what they have communicated in pictures for us. Like, I think this workshop's really, it is about pictograms. The last, well, the last few mornings that we've spent together in lives has been about reading pictograms. So these pictograms that we're looking at, they're like little, think of them as hieroglyphics that we're looking at in Egyptian pyramids and tombs. We're looking at, these are pictograms that tell a story. I want you to really think of these, anything that we look at here today, think of it as a pictogram. This is a series of pictograms on an Egyptian tomb that tells us about these royals. This is a royal couple going on a royal visit. The royal couple goes to the hospitals to help the injured to heal. So, as I said to you in that reading, I do get a very, very strong sense that these pictograms are about selling her. So, when we use the word royal, because he's the royal one, right? He's the royal one, but the pictures are about her involvement. Is she the photographic one? These pictures are about her. This teamwork is about pumping up her. And I'm very worried about this in reverse, about this energy. This is darkness. This is not optimistic. This is negativity. This is her energy, and that they are trying to boost, they're trying to boost her. It really feels counterintuitive. It's an amazing thing to happen because she's so fake. I'm going to, sorry, I'm just, if you feel that, like, sometimes what happens is I'm looking at something and I'm thinking, I'm trying to I'm trying to search my thoughts. So you might yeah, that's what the delay is, that I'm just thinking to myself. Let me Oh, the King of Wands in reverse. Oh, we had the King of Swords in reverse just a minute ago. Someone else's bad idea. Someone else's bad idea, bad desire, like project, arrogance and control. Well, you know who I think that is. Yes, it's a King of Wands. Hmm. They saw an opportunity. They were watching this situation. They're watching the situation grow and looking over and, overseas, over looking at a bigger picture. And so the desires, these are both desires, ideas. Um, this was an idea to about how we got the world in our hands, about how we're seeing. I will say this is a little world, like it's a plan and like a bigger picture of how the world is organized. It's not the ideas are not great. The idea behind these pictures that we're seeing are not great. But they are part of a project, like a desire, ideas, this project planning. This is all part of it. I know that's going to sound, when I said counterintuitive before, what we're fed as the plebs, what we are fed and what we are expected to believe was that one, they left of their own accord, that they decided to leave, that they decided to go off and start a business, which is not a business. And on that note, we might in a minute we'll have a look at our normal Saturday Sunday pictograms on the webs on the what do we call it, their website or their Instagram. We will do that. I'm trying. It just sounds so weird. It sounds weird to say it. Like I hear myself and I was going, that this is a plan that they've always been working. Now, let me. Oh, this is the plan. So this was the card we started off with. What I wanted to talk to you about. This couple, and this couple. This couple, and this couple. This couple, and this couple. Lay solid foundations. Now is not wait and see energy. This is more like, let's get the plan underway. Let's start building. And it relates to both. It relates to Nancy and it relates to this, like to this situation. I'm going to quickly, I'll just pull up. I'm going to say something that could upset people, and maybe that's what those warning cards were when I tried to do Nancy's reading. So I'm starting to feel much more that what we're doing today is connected. Well, they're not connected in the sense that the Nancy and Shapey and I feel from my angle that the energies are similar. So I'm reading cards that relate to both of them, but those situations are not connected. It's me that's the connecting factor. And so I just get a sense that I've said to you what I will advise from my point of view is I think you need to take care of how you perceive this. I know everyone wants to feel that there's something. I know I do too. I want it to be nice. I want it to feel like, because I think we need some optimism. But we had the optimistic card. We had the sun in reverse. The Sun in reverse. And so I think, and the Knight of Ether in reverse, I know that related to Nancy, but for today, I'm going to say that the cards that I pull are generally, a message to me about like a greater message. And so the greater message is about opening up a can of worms and like opening up yourself to potential spiritual things that are not so bright and a little bit negative. So I think that's kind of what I need to sort of take, and that has to do with, I'm not going to say anything about. It's up to you. It's up to your intuition. My intuition. There's something about this that isn't necessarily. It's not as optimistic as everyone thinks. And we've seen so much. Over this last, how many years has it been since 2018, 2017, all this BS that we've seen? We know definitely from his father, like, the other thing, I suppose I'll just leave those here. Hang on, let me just do one energy. Like, I think this is so complex. Like, what we're looking at is really, really complex. It's very complex because it deals with one of the things that I would want to do if I was in charge of this show was that I would want people to subtly, like, I wouldn't have to do much work to get you to follow, to get you to approve. And so we're in a situation where we automatically approve because there's some really, and this is what I'm going to say, and this is why I'm getting the goosebumps. I'm getting the goosebumps. This is what is off. The thing that's off is that we automatically, without questioning, accept this as true because it's everyone else in the story is so muddy and dark and have really stuffed up that it makes these two look like angels. And you need to question your own. So maybe ask the question, how did you come to love these people so much? What is it about them that you love so much? I'm asking myself that question too, because I think anyone that knows me will probably think, oh, Bubo or Jam, whoever, whatever you want to call yourself. Well, why do you like them so much? And my honest answer to that question is, I don't know, because like I was young and I liked the fairy tale, the idea of the wedding. I loved the dress. I'm not going to lie. I was very, very shallow in that regard. I liked the idea of a princess. I liked the idea of a dress, beautiful, like over the top fairy tale dress that now is delay. So this is proceed with caution. It's not a complete stop. Oops, it's not a complete stop. It's a proceed with caution. There's a lizard in the water, but it's in reverse. So we just need to, I'm just going to think about my words carefully. I'm, I think this is to do with, influencing ideas, like, and so for the people that are here in the reading, let's just, I think we do ask ourselves some questions. We just need to be careful about how we proceed with our thoughts going forward. So I'm putting a huge question mark. I'm not going to openly, willingly say, yes, these people are beautiful and gorgeous and they're there to save the day. Because whilst I will say that they look like, you know, they look like, well, that looks like a prince and a princess. That they look like the part. She's not in a t-shirt and shitty old brown pants that haven't been ironed. She is ironed. She's pressed. He's dapper. Even when they're casual, they look composed. Even when they're casual, even when they're forcing a laugh, they look composed. I was going to say New World Order. When we look at when we take into considerations things like the New World Order, and we know that there are things happening in the world, and like there are things happening right now to do with New World Order. And you can ask people in Iran about that, in Persia, in Iran, about New Order. That's at the moment, the world is trying to create new order. The world. There are certain forces in the world trying to create new order. I will say that that energy is also in these pictures. There is energy happening that relates to creating a new order. This is part of that, the planning, the foundation. It's all of this gives, and it's very complex because of, does it mean that someone was planning it from the very beginning? I don't know. I don't know. But whatever game is being played, it is about making sure that these people, and they're probably looking at their own, it's probably from their own perspective too. Do they really hate, or are they really enemies? Are they really enemies? Or are we going to, let's be careful how we proceed. Let's be careful about what's in the water, what's in the story, what's lurking. We're going, let's go forward a little bit, move forward, but understand all the what's going on. These stories are about change, that things are changing, that the energy is changing. People, what is that? It's a monarch butterfly. So, where this story is about getting the goosebumps. Oh my goodness. Good. This story is about transformation. All these people are about, this is a complete story of transformation and change. It's okay, people. We're changing. All the bad stuff, all this negative stuff is behind us. And going forward, there's a new idea. That was upside down, wasn't it? There's new ideas and plans. There's new ideas and plans. There's a new world order. Wow, I'm getting a feeling of this now, this new world order. This is what's happening to Europe. This is what's happening to Europe and to the UK and to the USA and to Canada and to Australia. Why are we seeing what we're seeing? Why do we feel that there's counterintuitive actions to fill the country with I don't want to be say anything hateful about the people. Obviously there are people that need help, but why are these countries doing what they're doing? And I think we could be witnessing the end of the monarchy. We could be seeing the end of the monarchy, or the monarch changing transformation. Transforming into something different. We are we are witnessing the metamorphosis right now. So cards, let me just ask. So cards, is William has this got to do with preparing the world, or preparing the Commonwealth for a new form of, so the government could not the government could change, the way things happen are obviously changing. Yeah, because it needs, like, we need a bombardment of green energy, and green is to do with heart chakra and healing, nutrients, like nutrition, everything. It Right now, what we're talking about, like, the system is broke. Not the system is unhealthy. The system is not feeling. It's not heart. It's not feeling. It's not caring. It's not green. It's not healthy. It's not healthy for the people in the system. Cleansing, renewal. So they're actually, what they're doing. There is actually a reason why they're doing it. It's the things that we have seen in our lifetime, the things that we grew up with, are completely changing. They don't want that. They don't want that here. There's no room for it. Sorry, I'm just focusing on another little. Yeah, there's an irritation. So can I just say, okay, this card of irritation, that there's an irritation making you move forward. I'm getting a massive wave, but I just wanted to say, who do you think are the people that, so if there was a plan to move forward, as I'm saying this, I just saw 2030 in my mind, the year 2030, and the moving forward, the journey forward, is that on our journey to 2030, and when I say our, I mean the whole world. And when I look at this monarch butterfly and the transformation required, I'm thinking about this journey forward, and 2030 came to my mind. This little card here is about, there's a stone in his sandal, and he can't move forward. He needs to take that little pebble out of his sandal. Otherwise, that pebble is going to cause damage, and like he'll get hit in it. So it's about removing obstacles before you, before you go on the journey, before you progress. Um, I'm going to try and say this in a way where I want you to answer the question and to come up with the realization of what is possibly going to happen. And I'm thinking about movies that we've seen, because I don't think there's any accident to, and not because that people deliberately went out, they had a plan and said we're going to make this movie because it's going to create this, it's going to communicate this. I think it actually happened. I honestly feel that it happened by accident because as humans, as a being, as a as a humanity of people working together, what we haven't realized is that we share our there's a level of our brains that we share. And the ether, like the night of ether that we saw earlier, in the ether, there's ideas that, you know, think about the wheel, the invention of the wheel, for instance. When the wheel was invented, it happened in many different places. So we share a common. We're able to draw from like thoughts and energy, but it's often things that people are feeling and thinking. So it's not like someone said, "Oh, we need to make this movie called The Terminator." Um, because this is the plan, we're going to make robots. But no, I think it's a bit like there's ideas. Now someone got the idea from somewhere, but then what happens is that they make the movie, then that generates another level of thinking, and people thinking and doing things, and being motivated by what they saw in that movie. So what I'm saying to you is that the new order, in order to move forward, there are movies that we've watched as young people, as children, to do with how old people are going to be treated in the new world order. And that's you and I. We are now, from 2030, you, me, we're all going to, and I know because of the analytics of who used to watch Jam Scam and who's watching Tarot C, we're all hitting our 60. We're about to hit 60s, or we're in our 60s, and going forward, who are going to be the irritation in the shoe? We are the people who are a bit more cautious of AI. We are the people that saw all this stuff happening in our youth, and now it's happening. We watched all the movies, and now they're happening in a subtle kind of way. So, are we the last of the critical thinkers? We're problem solvers. We can be on our own. We're quite happily, we can survive. So I'm thinking, in this new world order, I really get a question. I'm really getting a message about unhealthy, about the green, because obviously, to turn this up to be like to think about vibrating green and healing and cleansing. When I'm feel this upside down, I'm feeling like I would say to you all the people that watch and listen, and who also get the goosebumps and feel and intuitively know. We've done a little bit of a meditation. We've been asking, we've been reflecting, got a white and silver light, and we've been looking at our auras. What I would say to you now in that meditation, right? In that meditation, you can do this yourself, is Do the whole thing. When you go to create the orb, you need to create a green orb, a really bright green orb. But this time I want you to send it to all our friends that are our age, to our age group, because I think what's coming is targeted to us. Oh, I just got a lump in my throat. Yeah. How beautiful. This is what we have to do, because we're going to, women, like the women, and with men with who are connected to their healing side, we're going to have to look after ourselves. We're going to have to, this idea that I'm telling you about, we need to foster it and nurture it and look after. We need to look after our age group, because we are the last of these. We are the last, and we are very inconvenient. We are very, very inconvenient to all of these, to the system that's happening. And all you need to do is think about, they're publishing now all these robots, from China and Russia and all these, and we're talking about Grok point 4, all the new AI. People, do you think the people that are going to be looking at changing the world in order for 2030 to take place, do you think they're going to want a whole lot of old people questioning what they're doing? So just think about what's happened in the past, the last few, the last couple of years, and what's happened in the last couple of years. We need to prepare ourselves, because there's change coming. We can see it in these pictures, like how they're changing the narratives, in order to prepare. So I think that, I feel that the changes happening to do with those files, family members that are getting caught, the changes and the restructure to the monarchy, to the monarchy, is all part of this. And I think very early on, in early Jam Scam videos, I did say to you that part of this whole moving forward towards this new future, and what happens, to do, like today, we're probably going to hear more about these bombings and things that are happening, the onset of, upheaval in the Middle East, is that, I forgot what I was going to say. Upheaval in the Middle East. Oh, I have had a complete blank. Oh, I said to you in an early video that as we enter this time, that there's going to be a person that comes into the story worldwide, who is automatically loved by all the people. I think we're looking at him, because I said to you, if you remember, I've said it a couple of times, that I worry about my automatic approval. I think what we're looking at here is extremely dangerous, that we automatically love. And I think that's why the cards were sort of saying to me to be careful about exposing. It is, these changes that we're talking about, they are unstoppable. Like it has to happen. There's nothing you and I can do about it. We really cannot do anything about it. But that doesn't mean, so what we can do is in ourselves, is the transformation needs to be within ourselves about how we deal with it. We're getting to an age, we're not going to be here forever. And the world, this unstoppable change is occurring. Whoops, I just changed the but I feel like they're not going to be, if all this change happens, I would question whether there's going to be a monarchy. So let me just show you this. So this is the card of the seasons and the changes of the season. Right, sorry. And see in the center there, I'm not sure if you can read it, it says, you cannot control external forces or external events because it's the seasons. The earth is turning. There's all these, the laws of the universe are acting on the earth and the heat, and we have seasons and things change. We can't control what happens to the seasons, to the moon, to the planet. They're on a course. And as after spring there'll be summer, after autumn there'll be winter. There's nothing we can do. It has to happen. This card was in reverse. Okay, we can't change external forces, external events, but what we can change is internal. All of this is an invitation to us. If everything has where's silver? Oh, did I put it back? Remember I had the silver card and we had the great mother. So here she is. Here's the great mother. So that's, she's silver. Intuition. So what it's actually, this time is also about strengthening our intuition and our feelings and actually healing healing us internally and cleansing us. This is really a call, because if we focus a lot on the external, and this is really the distraction. I want you to see these people as complete and utter distraction. They're not even worth thinking about or talking about. If I think about, because this is where I struggled during the week, I didn't do any videos, but I know there are people out there doing heaps and heaps of videos and they're loving it, and that's fine. I applaud them. I think that's great. I find it very difficult because this is what they want. This is actually what they want. Do you think if they were really worried about, people hating them or talking about them in a negative way, don't you think they would find people to, sue? And I'm just wondering why they haven't. I mean, there's some really big people out there who that, that have said things they could. I mean, they are reading articles, so the article was published first, but I'm not sure that really covers them. If something's been published, just because it's been published doesn't mean that if you republish it, doesn't mean that you could get into trouble. But I suppose there's a lot of things that we don't know whether are true or not. So, yeah. I think it is part of this idea to, one half of the family looks terrible. I mean, everyone looks terrible. So there's going to be a couple of people that have to look really, really positive. Yeah. Okay. Oh, before I go, I'm feeling a bit tired. I'm feeling a bit drawn now. Like, I think I wanted to talk to you about, let's go to like this. I just don't understand. Can someone help me make sense of a bookmark? A bookmark. In this day and age of Kimballs, and this is not something young people are going to be buying, if they're going to be buying it at all. I would ask you to please explain who, what it, Gen X, I don't know, like who is actually buying bookmarks? Because it actually requires people to have a book. It actually requires people to be reading a book. And I could say, yeah, I if I was going on a holiday, I would read a book because my eyes, I find it very difficult to do any kind of reading on a phone or a tablet. Hurts my eyes. So bookmark could only really be it's just a very strange thing in this day and age to be really pushing, because let's look at the images, like how many days of publishing bookmarks. And there is something here I want to talk to you about, this stupid idea, this bookmark, and the stupid notion that it's sold out. Okay, whatever you say, B Arch, like seriously, like enough with the bookmark. But that's not, so this is not the reason. This is not the reason. The bookmark is here because it points to something. It points to something. It points to some words. It points to security. It points to say nothing. Security, say nothing of our thousands and can you see there what page? If we read it backwards, 9, 11. I don't know. I'm just picking out the picture. I'm just, I do think I said to you that, him going to a Muslim country, going to Jordan, not because Jordan would do anything. I just think that in the area, there are so many people that are of a certain persuasion that, according to his book, and what he wrote about, I'm just really, really surprised that when the guy turns up in your neck of the woods, that they wouldn't have some thoughts about security. So that's interesting. Let's have a look at Friday. What was that? A small ritual returns. Do you love her words? Like, a small ritual returns. A new chapter begins. A new chapter. Hold that thought. Launching Friday. All right, let's have a look at these. Ah, that's beautiful. That is such a stunning, like, I just love how all the, how everything's aligned, like handwritten. That's really wonderful. Is that a blue willow? Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Okay, what does this let's have a look. I haven't seen these yet. So let's have a look at, I saw that one. I'll talk to you about that in a second. Let's have a look at, Oh, so this is another angle. Hang on. So it's page 119. While the two of us may have been dreaming about 4 stars down, something, for the sake of our immediate job security. Are they? Oh, I put the cards away. Are they working together? While the two of us may have been dreaming about 4 stars down the something, for the sake of our immediate job security, to say nothing of our, I can't work that out. We needed 3. We needed 3. The power of 3. It was go time. Oh, it was go time. So remember, I can't, it's going to be too difficult. Oh, but it's this. It was go time. Now is not wait and see energy. Now is the time to build. It was go time. So I wonder what this book, it's about excellence. So it's about excellence in doing your job. Is it some sort of our sold out bookmark, now with a new phrase? Hold that thought. But wasn't that the phrase from the very beginning? Our sold out bookmark now with a new phrase. No, we had, what do you mean? It was always that. Hold that thought. A reminder that not everything needs to be finished at once. Okay. A pause mid-page, mid-idea. We were getting the wands, the ideas, the plans. Launching alongside 3 thoughtful, curated sets designed for quiet hours, golden afternoons, and evenings that settled slowly. Who writes this shit? Designed for quiet hours, golden afternoons. But what's the bookmark? Oh, I suppose golden afternoon to sit down and read. Maybe that's what she means. And evenings that settle slowly, as opposed to evenings that are settling super fast. I don't know, Megsy Poo. I don't know what you're up to, but that's interesting. So this book is about jobs and about job security. Okay. And then this, but this is different. This is what I wanted to, did I have that ready already? Yeah, this one. No. Let me just grab this to see what she's actually pointing to. This one's a little bit different. This is a different page. Oh, something, Bill working towards excellence. That's what the book's called. Let me just blow that up. Oh no, it's the same. For immediate job security. Oh, it was the same page. I thought it was different. But she's revealing. So this one points to, for the sake of our immediate job security. For the sake of our immediate job security. So were we actually, when we looked at this and said, employee of the month, rocking up to work, employees, employees and for the sake of our immediate job security. Well, I'm just sorry, I'm just reading some comments by Blue. Hello. How are you all going in the chats? Are you all enjoying yourself? Chatting amongst yourselves? Yes, I think that this was not these last posts were no accident. These last posts have to do with this. I will say TRG brought up a very interesting point. I don't have the visual, but TRG had mentioned, and see, I don't know where to find. Uh, I don't think it's in these series of photos. There's a photo of Harry sitting at a desk, and there was a board behind him with some, and I think TRG has picked up that there was a handwritten note. It's like I think it might have been like a post-it note that has some notes written on it, and she had read something to do with Jordan. So that was posted. Was it on here? Like, I'm just trying to think, where did that image come from? But obviously, they had been planning that Jordan visit for a while, and so I thought that was really interesting, and that we now see them in Jordan. But I think now we're starting to connect these bookmarks, and are all connected to that. This is a new one too. So, all right. My friends, I don't know what else to say right now. Shall we? I think. Oh no, we were okay. We've done quite well for today. We went off on a little little tangent, but I think I just needed to make sense, and I think now I've sort of made a connection between the Instagram and what we're seeing here. That there's bookmarks that are obviously telling us. I don't know why she would do that. Why she would pick a sentence. I mean, I do know why she would pick a sentence. It's just that I don't think many people would make that connection, because I think these pictograms that we've always every Sunday when we look at the pictograms, are you surprised? Like, because I'm surprised. I'm surprised that we find shit like this. I- because it just seems like, wow, like that is not what we just read, what we just saw. Um, I'm surprised that it's that overt. Um, I'm seeing some messages there that people are saying that, that she's desperate. Yeah, desperate. Yeah. But who else is desperate? I think the royal family is desperate. I think there are things happening on that side of on the other side of the pond that are just as desperate. Are they desperate for her to get back? I think they're desperate. There's desperation that certain people look great. I think that there's things happening now that are really starting to worry. And I think the worry will be is I think the real worry is if these people, these two, if their image is tarnished. Will their image be tarnished? Yeah, things are starting to get dark. And so they're trying to well, the darkness we're talking about is about the greater darkness, not just Shapey, the greater darkness. They employed someone to look dark, they employed someone to work with dark, but what they failed to understand is because of the themes of darkness that people like you and I who have awakened, who our eyes were opened by the darkness, by seeing symbols, that we're now making the association that those symbols and the stories and the energy came well before Shapey came onto the scene. Shapey's Shapey has not done a great job. So as much as she wants to talk about, excellence, she might want to talk about excellence, her job, working towards excellence, whatever she's doing. But she's not excellent. I mean, she's really the energies that she's working with are actually they go much deeper. They came from a place before, and we know who those people are. Yes. Her and her garden, the Garden of Eden. For me, I feel like right now, having sort of said that, I feel like you know, that's what I'm aiming for. I'm aiming for like peace of mind, a bit of sanctuary. But the light, we've lit the light. We've lit the flame. So on that note, my friends, I think that's a wrap for today. I will leave it there. I'm not sure. I will try and do. I will try and do some videos. I would like to do a little more reading on Nancy. Um, what I was going to say about Nancy was that if she had been taken for money, the conversations around money would have been much more robust. You would have seen much more action happening to do with money figures and getting paid, etc. And so the people holding on to her, if that was the case, they don't want to hold on to her for very long. So there would have been the timeline would have been very sped up. They just want to get their money and go, and if they have to hand her over or whatever. So for me, the energy is that that didn't happen. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Nancy. I've been talking about these people and then I talked about Nancy and that's the car. So something's going to come to light. Yes, look, something's coming to light with Nancy. They might find her body. I hope they do. Keep an eye out if it's near water. If she was put in water, I still see that lake, that whether it's a creek or a lake. I think it's a lake. I got a sense of still water, water that's very still. So, yeah, some news coming to light. Maybe there's something's coming to light, but I don't think it wasn't about ransom. That was someone's bad idea. The card was a bad idea. Like that's come up. So I don't even know. I feel like I got the card. Remember the card of the candle? I don't know if you noticed. I turned it up for me as a message to me personally, and that the candle extinguished was upright. It was that was the card. So I didn't say anything till now, but now that we've got this candle being lit, the extinguished candle I feel happened before the sunrise. the candle went out. So I don't, maybe whoever had her didn't expect her to go out, blah, blah, but yeah. I feel sad. Yeah, it's very sad. But the other thing, can I just say before I go, is that why are all these why don't I believe anything that the police do now? Do you think they've done I don't believe they've done a thorough job of they still haven't done a thorough job of what they're looking at. It's so ridiculous. Oh dear. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. My Jamsters, thank you so much for joining me this morning. I'm off to make a cup of coffee. You take care. We'll be back during the week with some more videos, some readings, and we'll be in touch. You take care, and I'll see you very soon.